We all like to tell ourselves a comforting lie. We look at histories, monsters, the tyrants, the torturers, the corrupt officials, and we think, I'm not like them. I'm a good person. If I had power, I would use it wisely. But what if that goodness is fragile? What if the line between a normal, healthy student and a sadistic monster isn't a matter of years, but a matter of days? In the summer of 1971, inside the basement of Stanford University, a psychology professor named Philip Zimbardo set out to test this very question. He planned a 2-week study. It lasted only 6 days. By the end, the line between reality and simulation had vanished, replaced by a terrifying descent into madness. This is the true story of the Stanford Prison Experiment. The premise was simple. Professor Zimbardo wanted to understand the psychology of imprisonment. Was the brutality found in American prisons caused by the sadistic personality of the guards, or was it the situation itself that corrupted them? To find out, he placed an ad in the newspaper offering $15 a day, about $100 today, for male college students to participate in a psychological study of prison life. More than 70 people applied. Zimbardo and his team screened them rigorously, eliminating anyone with a criminal record, psychological issues, or medical problems. They selected the 24 most normal, healthy, and stable young men they could find. Then came the coin flip. It was completely random. Half the students were assigned to be guards, and the other half were assigned to be prisoners. There were no differences between them. No history of violence, no power complexes. Just luck. To make the simulation feel real, Zimbardo enlisted the help of the actual Palo Alto Police Department. On a Sunday morning, the prisoners were arrested at their real homes. Neighbors watched as police cars pulled up, handcuffed the students, read them their rights, and took them to the station for booking. They were blindfolded and driven to Stanford, where the basement of the psychology building had been converted into a mock jail. The dehumanization began immediately. The prisoners were stripped naked, sprayed with a delousing agent, which was actually just water, but the humiliation was real and given a uniform. But it wasn't a normal uniform. It was a dress-like smock with no underwear, designed to make them feel emasculated. They wore a heavy chain around one ankle to remind them of their oppression, and a stocking cap over their hair to simulate a shaved head. Crucially, they lost their names. They were only allowed to be referred to by the ID numbers stitched on their uniforms. The guards, on the other hand, were given symbols of power. They wore khaki military-style uniforms, carried wooden batons, and wore mirrored aviator sunglasses. Zimbardo specifically instructed them to wear the glasses to prevent eye contact, making them seem like emotionless, anonymous authority figures. Zimbardo gave them one rule: no physical violence. But he also told them, you can create in the prisoners a sense of boredom, a sense of fear. We're going to take away their individuality in various ways. In general, all of this leads to a sense of powerlessness. The first day was quiet. The students treated it like a joke. They giggled during roll calls. But by the second morning, rebellion started. Prisoners blockaded their cell doors with beds and taunted the guards. The guards, feeling their authority challenged, didn't just respond. They escalated. They called in reinforcements, blasted the prisoners with fire extinguishers to force them away from the doors, and stripped them naked. They removed the beds from the cells. The leader of the rebellion was put into the hole, a tiny dark closet used for solitary confinement. This moment broke the simulation. The guards stopped seeing the prisoners as fellow students. They saw them as dangerous troublemakers. The prisoners stopped seeing the guards as classmates. They saw them as tormentors. The psychological abuse ramped up. The guards began using sleep deprivation, waking prisoners up every few hours for counts where they forced them to do push-ups, sometimes stepping on their backs while they did them. They forced prisoners to clean toilet bowls with their bare hands. One prisoner, known as number 8612, began to spiral. Less than 36 hours into the experiment, he started screaming, crying, and displaying uncontrollable rage. He told the other prisoners, you can't leave. You can't quit. This rumor spread like wildfire. We are actually trapped here. Zimbardo, acting as the prison superintendent, initially refused to release 8612, thinking he was faking it, but the students' breakdown became so severe, uncontrollable, screaming and disorganized, thinking that they finally let him go. With the ringleader gone, the guards consolidated power. One guard in particular, nicknamed John Wayne by the prisoners, adopted a southern accent and began inventing creative forms of torture. He later claimed he was just acting, trying to see how far he could push it, but the footage shows a man reveling in total control. The prisoners became passive, zombie-like. They stopped supporting each other. When one prisoner went on a hunger strike, the others didn't view him as a hero. They viewed him as a nuisance who was causing them trouble. The solidarity of the group had been destroyed by fear. But the most terrifying transformation wasn't the guards or the prisoners, it was Philip Zimbardo himself. He later admitted that he lost his objectivity as a scientist. He became the superintendent. When rumors of a prisoner escape plot surfaced, Zimbardo didn't observe the behavior. He tried to move the entire prison to a real police station to stop it. He was angry at the prisoners. He was protective of his prison. He had forgotten that these were human beings in a basement. The madness finally ended on the night of the 5th day. Christina Maslach, a recent Stanford PhD graduate and Zimbardo's girlfriend at the time, came to interview the prisoners. She saw the guards marching the prisoners to the bathroom with bags over their heads, shouting abuse at them. She was horrified. She turned to Zimbardo and said, "It's terrible what you are doing to these boys." Out of more than 50 outsiders who had seen the prison priests, lawyers, parents, she was the first person to question the morality of it. Her shock snapped Zimbardo out of his trance. He realized he had created a monster. The next morning, on day 6, he announced the experiment was over. The guards were disappointed. The power trip was ending too soon. The prisoners were in shock. They thought they were never getting out. The Stanford Prison Experiment became legendary. It was used to explain everything from historical atrocities to abuse scandals. It gave us the term the Lucifer effect, the idea that the situation, not the person, creates evil. However, in recent years, the story has faced scrutiny. New evidence suggests that Zimbardo may have coached the guards to be tough more than he admitted, creating a situation where the students were just doing what they thought the professor wanted. Some argue the prisoners were acting out stereotypes they saw in movies, but even if there was acting involved, the emotional trauma was real. The breakdown of number 8612 was real. The joy the guards took in the humiliation was real. The Stanford Prison Experiment remains a dark mirror. It shows us that under the right or wrong circumstances, stripped of our identity and given unchecked power, the veneer of civilization is terrifyingly thin. It suggests that the monster isn't a rare creature hiding in the dark. The monster is a potential in all of us, waiting for permission to come out. If you were handed the sunglasses and the baton, do you think you would have been the good guard, or would the power have seduced you too? Be honest with yourself in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for your weekly dose of unbelievable true stories and historical deep dives. We are here to explore the past's darkest secrets. Thanks for watching Omen Myths.